Hi everyone, Jason Kamal. Super excited. I have my sponsor, my business partner, my mentor, David Gagnon here at EXP Con 2017. It's been a great event, fantastic people here, and I am meeting David for the first time face to face. Prior to then, it was over the phone, over the EXP Cloud, and it's really a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you face to face too. I mean, I love the cloud environment, and that's a great way to collaborate.
Yep.
But it always does my heart good to be in real life.
We are brand new to the market in Canada. In fact, I think you mentioned that we're at where EXP was at 4 years ago in Canada. So can you tell me more about that?
Sure. When I came over to the company about 4.5 years ago, we were 272 agents, and it was really scary. Right? I mean, who ever heard of the company? What was it all about? And it was this out of the box model. I was with another company for 7 years, one of the largest brokerages in the U.S., and I really thought I would never leave. I was really happy there. I was helping to grow offices, and when I saw the model, I was blown away as to what the business opportunity was. And I did my due diligence. I did my homework. And I made up my mind to come over. And it was a very quick move for me. So I came over. Shortly thereafter, I became the director of growth for the company. So I got to help develop what we are today. So we went from 272, and then the next year we were at 465. The next year, 864. The next year, which was last year, we had 2401, and we just announced yesterday we went over 5,000.
Beautiful.
And I think it's actually closer to 5,100. So when I look at Canada, I think we have 100, 150 people or something like that throughout Canada, and it's really where we were 4.5 years ago. I know that there is leadership and entrepreneurial spirit in Canada just like we have in the US.
Yep.
And I'm counting on you to help identify some of those leaders. And I think we can do it faster, right? Because for the first couple of years, it was still putting models and systems in place and opening in new states. And when we look at Canada, we're already in 2 provinces, and we're close on the 3rd one, and we got the 4th one lined up. And so it's going to happen much faster. So the key is brokers that can help with the compliance side and getting the provinces open, and then finding those regional leader types who have influence, who have credibility, who can learn the model and share the model. And I tell you, I have friends here, they're at the conference this week, and we talk all the time. And what they've been able to do to build a company within the company in our structure has set their families up on a financial path that really cannot be replicated in the old brokerage model at all. And so once I can share that story with people, when they get it, and they're a great fit.
I know you have some examples for me today, and that's very important. I want you to talk about the people who were attracted to the opportunity, hesitated a little bit, or were uncertain, and how they excelled and took it to the next level.
Sure. There's a couple of stories that I'd like to share. One is I now have some new friends that I was actually talking to for an extended period of time, and they owned a franchise. They were the first ones with flying the balloon flag in Massachusetts, and they did that for 28 years or so, and they realized that that model was no longer for them. And they've been in the business a long time, so what's the next stage? How do you capitalize on the emotional equity that you've built in a marketplace? And so I had the opportunity to go through the process with them. About a year ago, they made the transition over, and they came over with their entire office. And what they said was the number one thing that was important to them is they wanted to make sure that whatever opportunity they chose, they wanted it to be just as beneficial for their agents as themselves. And that was a key factor to them coming to EXP. And now they have multiple people in their organization who have their own company within the company, right? And so it's not just brokerage anymore. It's really taking care of your people. And so in Florida, we have Mitch, who I got to play with last night for the first time ever. He was the one shredding up there on stage. And so I got to meet him, and he has been running a brokerage for 11 years, got it up to 115 people, and really decided that he didn't want to run a brokerage anymore. And so he got rid of the agents that really weren't top-notch agents, and we talked for an extended period of time. He made the decision to come over 3 months ago with 35 people. He now has over 100 people, but he knows people all over the country here in the US. And now he has a network of folks that are opening in new multiple listing services. They're opening up in new boards, opening up in new states. And he has over 100 people now. I've met with some of his leaders. We're forecasting that that little group's going to be 500 people by the end of the year, right? So it's no longer about building a brokerage, it's about building a business.
Nice.
So those things are significant. I look at my friend Chuck is in California, and Chuck has made more money in stock appreciation than he's paid into the company. He's made more money in stock awards than he's paid into the company, and he's been paid more money in revenue share than he's been paid into the company. When you talk to Chuck, he says, whatever I've paid in, I've got triple back out in other value. And so I just encourage people to take a look at the new model and see how it would work for them. And if they can relate where they are in their career to other people who have made the move and are having success, it becomes a really easy decision.
I've been talking to a few brokers. I'm going to be very specific here, and they are confused. It's a new paradigm shift. They don't know what to make out of it. It's so new to Canada, and what I've advised them to do is book a call with yourself, because you've been there. You've run 7 offices, is that right?
That's right.
So 7 offices, and can you kind of address those brokers who are watching this video right now that are curious but not really sure, if they want to take it to the next step? How can you kind of address those concerns?
Sure. Yeah, so whenever I'm talking to a broker, what I find is brokers are usually in one of 3 mindsets. Mindset 1 is, this is going great and my future is so bright, I don't want to take my eye off the prize. And to them, I say, stay on that, right? Just know what the competition's doing, and if this is a better model, you can dovetail right into what you're doing. Then you have folks that have been doing it a long time. It's sure and steady. They don't want to upset the apple cart, and it's doing everything that they want it to do for their family. They have all the free time that they feel they deserve, and they have all the revenue that they feel they deserve for the time that they've put in. And those people really probably aren't a good fit, right? Because life is great. And then there are folks who have been doing it a long time, and it's been a little bit of a grind. There's been good markets, they know bad markets, they know there's another bad market coming. They're trying to figure out how to make bricks and mortar work in an ever-changing world. They've heard a lot about virtual brokerage or cloud brokerage, and they're scared. They don't know what those things are. So what I encourage people to do is watch the video that I've done on EXP Explained, so they can understand the model from the agent's perspective. And if you feel that it's a compelling model, that agents want to look at that, just know that their agents are going to look at that. Whether the broker comes or not, the agents are going to make up their own minds, right? And so if it's compelling to the agents in a local area, the agents are going to come anyway. I would rather have the leadership come and have that leader built into that group, right? And the financial rewards are so high, it just makes sense to do that. And so, no matter where you are in your brokerage, take a look at EXP Explained, see what the competition is, see how you could leverage our model. And for us, we want those brokers to keep their branding, and you become brokered by EXP Realty, right? Keep your colors, keep your logo. If you run your brokerage in the style of a team where you're mommy or daddy and you're feeding leads and supporting your folks, you can still do that here. But what I find is most agents who are really good aren't looking at their broker like a mommy or a daddy. They're looking at it like it's a clearinghouse, right? To run their deals through and get some support and to get a 1099 at the end of the year. I don't know if you have those in Canada.
We don't.
That's how we report our earnings to the IRS. Yeah. So for agents who are running their own business, this is a great platform. And if it's a great platform for the agents, and you have a broker who has maybe 10 agents or maybe 100 agents, how could they grow by 10-fold? Well, if you can grow by 10-fold, you should do it. If you can't, you should look at a platform that allows you to do it, because then you get that financial reward, and you get the entire back end sourced. And that's the power of EXP Realty. I ran 7 brokerages, for 7 different ownership groups over a 7-year period. I would go around and I was a consultant, a growth consultant, and I would fix these offices and get them back on track for profitability. And so I understand that model completely. And I had the option to go back to my hometown in New Hampshire and create my own brokerage in a location with 1,000 agents on the board. How big could I get? 100, 150, maybe 200 people. Yep. At EXP, I have my company in the company. I've only brought in 24 people. You're one of 24 people that I have found, that I have faith in, that I'm investing my time in. 24. Those 24 are today 479 people. Yep. We're growing like crazy. When I was working for corporate, I did not do a lot of attraction, right? I had a full-time job. Over the last 20 months or so, I've been able to move those responsibilities out. I was 25 people 20 months ago, 479 today, and we're bringing in right now about 80 people a month in my little group. Yep. I could not do that as a broker in my own area. And so I just announced in our little group, Rock the Comma Tour. Yes. I want to see my little group get to 1,000 agents and brokers in the U.S. and Canada by February. Beautiful. And so that's why I'm coming to Edmonton. That's why we're going to BC. I just visited New Jersey last Monday. I was in Philly on Tuesday. I'm going to Texas coming up. I'll be in California. And so wherever we have good leaders like you, I'm going to talk to other good leaders. Because it's time to expand. And the only thing slowing us down is the amount of leaders that we have in position. And so in the next 4 or 5 months, I want to meet everyone that you can put me in front of that really is a great leader.
Okay, great. So you heard that? I'm going to contact you and we're going to sit down, we're going to have coffee, or we can talk about it over the phone. And once you've watched that 1-hour video, that is David's only request, is that you actually watch a 1-hour video. So when I put you in touch with David, you have a meaningful, in-depth conversation based on facts.
Yeah, you know what I find, everyone always is, well, just tell me, right? Yeah. It's like, no, you're a businessman, you're a businesswoman, spend the hour, make that part of your due diligence. So when we speak, we don't have to talk about, what's the split, how does the cap work, what is this thing called revenue share, talk about the stock. You'll know those things. We can talk about what's the most important thing to them as a business owner. What's the most important thing to them as a real estate professional, right? Because everyone comes from a different spot. Yeah. And so, if someone's watched the video and you've dubbed them as someone that I should spend time with, book them for an hour with me. You have access to my calendar, and I'll do as many of those appointments as I can.